your love's gone.
Hello you amazing people. So I'll make this very short so we can finally get on with the video. First of all, happy Valentine's Day everyone. Yay. Lol. I'm too lazy to do recap, so make sure you watch part 1 and part 2. This is 13 plus, so you've been warned. 2 men, a sexual tension LMAO. As always, I hope you enjoy the video. There was a silence at first. No one moved. It was like a cricket under disguise corrupting the atmosphere of the living room. The first one to shatter the awkward silence so quiet you can hear a pin drop was none other than the boy who was seated beside the pudding head, their shoulders barely fringing from each other. Who invited the snake bastard? Beats me. TSK. Are we done here, or what? No, we still have more to go. One of the newcomers gasped in shock. His hands firmly clutched in his chest, his expression twirling onto an overblown expression. I for one feel very insulted. Rooster head. Oh shut it will you? Wincing at the very abrupt feminine voice, DaiSuga quickly moves away. Well, more like slides away. His slanted eyes glued to his girlfriend's profile sides. A rooster head, and a snake now? Very odd. What's next? A piglet? Cracking up at his own comment, Tendao smoothly glides his body closer to their captain, the red hair of his slowly poking the corner of Ashijima's cheek. In the intervening period of time, another person closed by, sneering at them. Saltiness somehow took over their whole feature. Semi leans forward to the other's ears, his eyebrows hoist up into the air, looking ever so amused at the male who was ridiculing the couple beside them. You'll get wrinkles, babe. Stop scowling. You can always try to. He steps away from the setter, feeling an insignificant flush arising from his cheeks. Who the fuck are you calling babe? The other setter of Shiratori's aura backs away whilst laughing at the outcomes that he had received from him, his hands raised mid-air. I'm just joking. Relax, haha. You're always so tense. How is it that I'm always tense? The ash-haired boy shrugs at the other's encounter, his shoulder slowly slumping onto the headboard of the couch. Please, your actions say otherwise. Alright, let's get this party started. What did I miss? Terashima walks towards the 3 hosts, his smirk nonchalantly growing in every step he takes. Oikura raises an eyebrow at him before gesturing for him to come over. While that was happening, DaiSuga and his girlfriend stood in front of the door. Mika's head was cornering his shoulder, awakening the male to his spot. His cheeks flushed at the sudden electricity clocking in his body, and his lower regions. LMAO, get it? Look who finally decided to join. Pleasure to see you here, Terashima. Pleasure's all mine. Oikura Toru. Alright. Up next we have is Soamura Daichi and Koshi Sugawara. The third years of Karasuno both looked at each other. Their eyes showed nothing but pure adoration. Tanaka clears his throat and gestures for them to enter the closet. His hands were waving as if he was trying to train a puppy, or an animal. Why does it seem like he is trying to feed an animal? That's a really terrible comparison in Oshita, but at the same time, it makes sense. Closing the door in 3, 2, 1. Both of them stood there in silence at first. Their eyes were glued to the door frame that nearly slammed into their faces. An uncomfortable shuffle was all they could gather in that tiny room. How very awkward. So. Okay, so like, oh, you go first. Huh? Wait, what? The captain chuckles. I said you can go first, sugar. Oh, I just needed to break the uncomfortable atmosphere, that's all. Daichi crossed his arms on his chest, his head slanted on the side, moving his face closer to the setter. This caused an intimidating reaction from the other. His eyes were desperately seeking nothing. I think you're a little too close. Oh, am I? Does it make you uncomfortable? Of course not. Then I don't see the problem. Before the setter could even squeak a reply to him, he felt lips pressing onto his. It was an out-of-this-world experience. It was as if his soul left his body to visit heaven. Initially, his reactions would be dumbfounded and surprised. Despite that, there was really nothing to expect but to kiss here. I'm sorry. Was that too much? I know I should have asked you first. But it was tempting. I mean, your lips are pretty much just begging me to kiss them. How was that tempting? Don't you dare say my face you just took a chance because we're all alone. PFFT. I would have done the same thing either way. The gray-haired boy thought to himself, his mind completely blank at the situation. Snapping out of his daze, he soon brushes his gray hair out of the way and shuffles closer to Daichi, who trembles at the sudden contact. Daichi cleared his throat, shuffling uncomfortably in that tiny room. So you're telling me that you wouldn't do the same thing when you're already in the situation? I didn't say anything. Are you just assuming now? The other stared at him dumbfounded, his eyebrows slowly rising on the peak of his forehead. No words could leave his mouth. It was as if he just pushed him against the wall without a warning. Just shut up and kiss me, idiot. Being subtle about his hint of wanting to swap saliva with the captain, Sugura wasted no time yanking the boy to his level. Well, not exactly, since the captain was only an inch taller than him. Their lips soon met with each other. There was a pause for a brief moment before the two broke the kiss. At the same time, the door was harshly kicked down. Ahoho. What do we have here? Messy hair, cheeks flushed, pupils slightly dilated, Suga-san glowing red. That could only mean one thing. Did you two do the deed? Did Mr. Refreshing gave you the best head? How was it? Get laid? They all said in sync. None of the members moved at the awkward questions that the three boys asked. Their eyes were glued on them, looking not too amused. A second later, the three burst with laughter. Wow, that was some chorus we got. I'm pretty sure something happened in there. No shit PFFT, look at how red they are. Bro, if blushing could be used as a heat source, we could boil some water. Oh wait. I know who to partner this one up with, and why is he even here? Shouldn't he be participating? Well, not really. The game is almost done. So I don't think there's really a point to add him. But is it though? Tanaka gave Terashima a look. That mischievous look that no one could ever miss. It was really obvious, and they didn't even try to hide that fact. The captain returned it with a straightforward smirk. More like a teasing idiotic smirk. Okay, whatever is going on inside your idiotic heads, it's not going to happen. Idiotic? Did I stutter? Oh shit. Ahaha. I think the fuck not. You trick ass bitch. Ryu Tanaka and Shikara Inoshita. Oh hell yeah, it's your turn. Wait, with WHO and A what now? Tanaka looked at his friend, whose eyes were gleaming without mercy. You heard the shorty, it's your turn. Unless you want us to yell it out for you, you wouldn't dare. He immediately gave the captain a dirty look while sticking out his middle finger at him, clearly annoyed. The two amateur captains looked at each other for a few minutes, before the brunette shoved him inside, earning a squeak from him. Come on, if I can do it, you can too. That's a completely different story. It seems like you chickened out when you had the chance to make out with him. Blood started rushing into his face as soon as the captain mentioned the situation between the libero and his ace. The tip of his ears was so explicit that hiding the fact that he was having a gay mental panic attack was impossible. Damn, he is completely whipped for him. It hurts that it's so noticeable, but the person doesn't even notice it. PFFT. This isn't about me. Shut you up. Soon, Inoshita approaches the three hosts who were standing by the closet door, his eyes unconsciously piercing through the libero's skull. You did this on purpose, didn't you? The small figure trembles on his spot, taking a step back from their soon-to-be captain. Hand slightly raised, he scratches the back of his neck, smiling at him crookedly. Don't blame it on me. Blame it on the paper. Now go. You don't want to keep your dear waiting for you, do ya? Excuse me. My what, hey what the? Both of the captains gave him a not so gentle push inside the room. His body came tumbling down to the boy, who seemed to be looking rather lost and scared than excited. Oof. And your sex timing starts now. This is an interesting birthday party. Tell me about it. Oh come on, you enjoyed it. TSK. Fuck off. Your 7 minutes starts now. You make sure you make a move. Don't do what this shorty did. Ahahaha. Stop bullying him. Oh, you two are back? So how was your made out session? I mean, I'm sorry for the mistaken word. Make up session? Fuck off. You don't need to know. The second year pinch server slapped him jokingly, narrowing his eyebrows at Kyotone's rude behavior. No doubt he was blushing at what the first year commented. It was alright. They all turned their head at the loud smack against the door. Silence had taken over the room atmosphere again, their eyes blinking simultaneously. Daichi pinched the bridge of his nose, head lowered and shaking his head in disappointment. What did he do to deserve this punishment? Oops. Didn't mean to slam the door that hard. Ahaha. The two boys stood there muted, their eyes glued at the door frame. Was this a setup? Don't even try to deny it. The paper is just for the show, right? Tanaka admires the ceiling, trying hard not to laugh at the situation. They indeed got caught. So was I right? Of course, I am. Since when have I ever been wrong? You got us, but it was Oikoa-san's idea. However, it's working out perfectly, as you can see. The dark-haired boy thought about it for a second, before nodding. He was agreeing with what the boy was trying to say, heaving a sigh in discomfort. Leaning against the knee-rest wall, he combed his dark hair away from his face and crossed his arms on his chest. So do we just mouth fuck in here or something? Is this the purpose of the game? Swallowing his saliva, that was clogged at the back of his throat, he at least tried to find where Inoshita was, gawking at the blackness with wide eyes and open mouth. The other chuckles softly. I'm not dumb. That was the purpose for this game, right? Obviously, because we all caught the others sucking each other's face off. Which was quite amusing to watch actually. Not gonna lie. I actually wouldn't mind doing that. Pushing himself off from the wall, he cornered the boy with both of his hands pressed against the wall, trapping him there. Brushing his gay panic away, he returned his small gesture by resting his shoulder against the door, and effortlessly looping his hands on his neck. They both rested their forehead on one another, their hot breath lingering on their faces. Time's up, loverbirds. Oh, what the fuck. As soon as Oikoa opened the door, the two fell in sync, Inoshita on top, while Tanaka grunted at the weight he had to carry on his chest, on the ground. Well, what do we have here? Realizing their current position, Inoshita abruptly stood up off of him, his head lowered in shame. He walked towards Asahi. The tip of his ears was slightly tinted with a bright rosy blush color. That was hella random but hot. He held out his hand to help him, and Tanaka gladly accepted it with a huff. There was a hint of blush arising from his cheek before he cleared his throat. He can feel the three idiots staring at him like he got caught vandalizing private property. Iniho, that's it, everyone. I hope you all enjoy your time together. And I hope something sparks within those partners you had. Whoa, why am I being dragged again here? Wait a second. While Nishinoya and Tanaka were dragging the brunette into the closet, Terashima crept up, well more like approaching Seijo's ace, in front of Iwaizumi. What do you want? Whoa, what the fuck, man? Let me go. Don't be so rough on my arms. I need these babies, holy shit. He shoves the ace inside the closet, both the second year hastily shutting the door with their backs. The boys looked at each other in confusion. Silence once again took over the entire room. Then Kunami broke the awful cricket deafening silence. Well deserved. Besides, they both need it. They're so obvious. It's like reading a book. Exactly. PFFT. It's so annoying. Did you see the way Sakusa and Iwaizumi got G? Shut up before my fist collides with that face of yours. Yes, sir. Oikoa gasped, as he caught Iwaizumi in his arms. Iwa? What are you doing here? I should be asking you the same thing. Wait, hold up. Was this a setup? You little bastard. I will destroy your legs and bury you alive. The captain pounded on the door repeatedly, his face scrunched up in annoyance. Yet here he is, furiously blushing in the dark. The thought of being with Iwaizumi in the cramped closet was enough for him to whimper in delight. Out of nowhere, Iwaizumi conquered Oikoa's shoulder, abruptly slamming him against the door frame. In response, there was a grunt of bliss. Trapping him with both of his arms on his side, he closed the gaps between them, breathing heavily into the brunette's face. Oh shit, too close. Getting to the point, I see. Oikoa twirls his index finger in Iwaizumi's dark hair, the other lowly grunting under his touch. Did I find one of your weaknesses? Or do you just love the feeling? Maybe both. Shut the fuck up. Make me Hajime. And you know what happened. They made out and live happily ever after. The end. Just kidding. Smashing his lips against the brunette's, Oikoa immediately reacted by encircling his hands around the ace's back, their lips slowly dancing with each other, eyes locked and shut. Nothing at all. All he could feel is the feeling of euphoria, exploding in the pit of Oikoa's stomach. The ace was the first one to break the unexpected and very aggressive kiss they just had. He protectively wrapped his arms around Ikoa's torso, slowly grunting underneath his breath. Since when were you a werewolf? Have you been watching Twilight? TSK, your mind got it? Tell that pea-haired bee that he should stay on his level and let the germaphobe destroy him. Ikoa chuckles, ruffling Iwaizumi's spiky hair. Despite their height difference, in which there wasn't much to begin with, Iwaizumi held so much dominance. Or, you're so cute when you're jealous. So what are we now? Iwaizumi shrugs with a scowl on his face, and Ikoa slapped his shoulder playfully, yet there was a hint of a blush creeping on the dark-haired boy's face. Come on, say it. I know you want to, but I don't fucking know. You better shut up before you what? The ace caught on and immediately withdrew himself from him, but was hauled back again to the captain's embrace. You're so obvious, Iwa, and don't worry. Nothing happened between me and Atsumu. Okay, time's up. Nishinoya pulled the door abruptly without any warning. The two members inside the room were unaware of the action, and are now situated in the same thing that happened with EnnoTana. You son of a fucking shorty, we were having a moment. Iwaizumi calmly stood up from the fall and pulled Ikoa up from the ground, slightly worrying about what the others were thinking. Who knows? What happens in the closet stays in the closet. Probably not. Nah, you tripping man. Something must have happened. Ayo KageHina, since it's still your day, we'll have you go with someone. But it's a surprise. Me? Wait, what? But I already. Note doesn't matter. Now come on. In you go. Pulling the taller male inside the closet, he shuts the door to prevent the setter from going anywhere. On the other side of the room, Tanaka and Terashima cornered the orange hair, a huge smirk displayed on both of their faces. Sugora scoffs. No mercy, eh? Just go Hinata before they strip you naked. What the fuck? Hinata flinched as soon as he felt the gust of wind enter the room, and KageHina stood still, having a hard time processing who's with him inside the tight closet. The orange-haired began to shuffle closer to the younger. Yes, KageHina is the youngest member in Karasuno, and the setter stiffened at his spot. So, ahaha. Are we just going to sit in silence for the remaining 7 minutes? By the way, happy birthday again. I'm sorry I only got you socks for your birthday, but I'll make it up to you somehow. I promise. I was broke, but that's no excuse. And the living tangerine continued to blabber about how empty his wallet is, not noticing the taller figure cornering him. So yes. That's the reason why my pocket is hurting right now, and what can I do to make you shut up? Well, you ask nicely. I get that it's your birthday and all, but that's so rude, KageHina. You can't forget manners no matter what. KageHina leaned his face closer. Hinata, on the other hand, wanted space because of the heat that was currently emitting. He swiftly moved his face away from him. KageHina grunted when his face ended up hitting the door frame. Yes, he kissed the door instead. Are you okay? Sorry I had to move. I know it's cramped here, but it's freaking hot. The younger had the urge to boot him in the leg. How is he so stupid? He thought. KageHina facepalmed before he attempted to cup Hinata's cheek, which he did. If not, that would have been embarrassing if he started touching or feeling his face up just to find what he was looking for. Wow, your hands are cold, Kags. Are you okay? Is that even normal? Or are you dead? Hinata felt lips against his mouth for a mere second, and the second he had the time to process what just happened, KageHina connected their lips once again. This time it was longer. Huh? Wait, what? Now I'm just pretty sure you're acting dumb. Shut up. I'm not. KageHina snorts in discontent, and Hinata scowls at his response. So Kindaichi was your ex? Who told you about that? Wait, was it Kunami? Hinata nods but realizes it was too dark for him to see his response and replaces it with a hum. It was the past, so I'd rather not remember that. Alright, time's up, loverbirds. Rather than finding a bunch of eyes staring at the two, they both looked at Atsumu, who was smiling sheepishly at them, and Ikoa grimaces. This slut here wants to go as well, just because I went twice. Shut your trap, you whore. Bitch. Okay, enough chit chatting. In you go, Bumblebee. Quit pushing me, okay? Holy shit, I'm going. Sakusa was instantly shoved inside the room, and Atsumu shied away, more like a Debbie Ryan smirk. This is so fucking annoying. I just want to go home. It's not even past midnight yet. What are you talking about? Why did they even put me in here with you? Didn't you already have that sex session with Oikoa? The setter narrowed his eyes and burst out laughing. The ace stood there dazed, his face slightly confused at what just happened. Why are you laughing? Are you jealous, Omi? Absolutely not. Ahaha. You're lying. I'm not. Ahaha. You're lying again. It's useless. You can't lie to me. The blonde hair male smirked. Pushing himself off of the wall, he flipped them over unconsciously, slamming the other against the wall. From his mouth escaped a groan. Damn, they really do be wrecking the wall. The setter licked his lips in satisfaction while staring at nothing but the darkness, which was really awkward for him. What are you doing? What? That wasn't effective. SakuAtsu snorted. Before Atsumu could even react at the sudden touch he had received from the ace, their position alternated. With wide eyes, Atsumu stiffened at the ace's abrupt action. He could feel his face inching closer into the crook of his neck, his hot breath haunting under his earlobe. SakuAtsu whispers silently yet seductively, his eyes slightly narrowed in a teasing way. I guess I'm the one who got you wrapped around my little fingers. Snatching both of his hands above his head, he intertwined them, breathing heavily. Oh my fucking god. Atsumu could feel his legs trembling with the unexpected tension clouding the room. Since when was SakuAtsu ever this bold to him, or to anyone in general? He didn't think that the room itself could get any hotter, but it felt as if the room was on fire. You know, if you want to kiss me, no one is going to stop you. Not even me. The ace kissed his cheek, before dropping Atsumu's hands onto his sides. I'd rather not. Oh okay. The setter looked away and all the thoughts came rushing back to him. His fist nonchalantly clenched to his sides. Was his action only to prove he was dominant and bold? How stupid. Atsumu thought to himself. But what about the peck on the cheek? Was that just for a show? Shaking off all the negative thoughts, the setter suddenly yelped when he felt that his chin was being tilted up. Not here at least. Atsumu felt the boy's lips slowly laying on top of his lips for a second before pulling away. Is that better? Frozen in shock, all Atsumu could utter to say was while his head nodded stupidly. He could feel his soul leaving his body. There was nothing he could do but stand there with an utterly dumb look on his face. His body was steady and SakuAtsu was certain that he had rendered him speechless. Are you good? The dark-haired boy chuckles and without thinking, he wrapped his arms around the setter's waist, resting his chin above his shoulder. And at that moment, Atsumu's skin jolted out from the contact. Time's up, you whore. Ahaha, that's so cute. But is he okay? What's wrong with him? Oikoa teasingly asked the couple. He knew the answer. However, being the asshole he is, he just had to ask. All the boys gawked at the two. Their eyes were absorbed on the setter, who was blushing furiously. Looking like a cooked lobster, he tried to walk out of the closet with an uneasy posture, not realizing he had brushed the ace off. SakuAtsu softly smiles, following closely behind the person who he got stuck in the closet with. His twin brother rolled his eyes in amusement, his index finger playing around on Suna's black hair, who was lying on his lap comfortably. Let me guess. You two made out and are gonna live happily ever after? Shut your mouth, Samu. He didn't deny it. Suna pointed out with his eyes closed. Did Rooster Head go already? They all circulate their eyes on the person who spoke by the door. Shirabu nods in acknowledgement. Yeah, with that salty twink over there. What the hell did you just call me? You unevenly gone wrong DIY haircut. While the two boys shared the same scowl and sour look on their faces, the green-haired boy made a face and he immediately swiveled his head at the four hosts who were talking amongst themselves, his mouth forming into an O shape. Yikes, imagine getting stuck with someone who you dated for fun. Mind your own business, Daisha. We figured that since TsukiYama disrespected our game, you know what that means. TsukiYama stared in horror at the two captains whose faces were scarier than a group of killer clowns. They both imprisoned him in a tight spot and TsukiYama felt his back hitting on the wall. These two are dangerous together. Go on, you can do it. They all silently gave Oikoa a flat look as they witnessed him ushering Yamaguchi to enter the closet. Bruh. He's not a dog. I am well aware he is not a dog. Okay, have fun you two. Tanaka gave the two boys a thumbs up before closing the door. TSK. This is so stupid. Yamaguchi stares at nothing but the darkness of the room. He couldn't decide if he should talk or not talk to him. There wouldn't be much to talk about if he even tried to open his mouth. His feet were glued to the floor, unable to move and speak at that moment. The blonde-haired boy scoffed in annoyance. Their distance with each other was enough for them to realize that clearly they didn't want to be in there. Great. I'm talking to no one. That's not true. Oh, so you do talk? Sucky. The two boys stood there as awkward silence surrounded them. Again. They were both steady and none of them wanted to make a move. So you and Kuru-san. Oh, the rooster head. You do realize that him and I dated for funsies, right? The nerd is completely head over heels for Kenma-san. Everyone should know that by now. He can't hide it even if he tried. Ah, I see. Insecurities started fogging through the dark green-haired boy thoughts. Was he overthinking things again? And as for you, Tsukishima sighs. He pushed his feet off of the wall, that seemed to be resting and raised on the wall, heavily sliding close to where the other boy was. I'll only say this once, so listen carefully. He leaned his face closer to him and Yamaguchi jerks a little at how this escalated quickly. A sudden heat wave slowly crept up to his face. I like you. No. I love you. Ha. TSK stupid. I know you heard me loud and clear. It was worth a shot to get you to say it again. He mumbles to himself. Frozen in his place, Tsukishima chuckles. He leaned in once again, pecking the smaller figure's lips. Why is he so smooth? How the hell can he even see in the dark? Those thoughts were running inside the pinch server's head. He could barely see anything yet here he was, just casually finding him in the dark where he can't even tell where the tall boy was. It was as if a force was pushing them together. The taller boy pats his head gently and before they can both react to Tsukishima's sudden act of kindness, the door is once again kicked open. Stop expecting them to be doing something every time you open the damn door. The four hosts whine in defeat. Where's the fun in that? Now that's just pain. You shut up, pretty boy. Daisha looks away irked. You two could go in the closet. I'm up for it, but the dude has a girlfriend. Terashima poked his nose to gesture where Daisha's girlfriend was, Mika, who is smiling brightly while having a conversation with him. They all looked at the boyfriend beside her, his eyes twinkling in so much adoration as he continued to watch her with so much love. PFFT, this boy is whip, says the guy who is obsessed with their manager. My Kurobro should go again with someone. If you know what I'm talking about. But Kyuto-san, I don't think that's necessary. Oh no, it definitely is. They're already acting like a couple. The only girl in the party pointed at the two boys who were busy daydreaming beside Bokuaka, unaware of the attention they were getting. If you aren't close enough to see how Kenma is seated on the couch, you could have mistaken him for sitting on the older's lap. Kiru's arm was slung on the younger shoulder, his eyes focused on Kenma's face. The four boys gave each other that look. Yes, that look. How are they not a couple? Wait just a minute. Just get in the closet, rooster head. We know you want it. Kuru entered the room hesitantly. His views were blocked by the three idiot hosts, their heads purposely blocking his view. Ugh. There's no way out of this. Whatever. Do what you want. After leaving his technology on the table, Oikawa gave the tiny figure a rather rough shove. The pudding head didn't see it coming and he immediately tripped over his own foot on his way to the closet. Kenma closes his eyes as he waits for the impact to come. I saw that coming. Oh okay. Thank you, Kuro. TSK. Stupid Oikawa. They both stood there in an awkward silence and none of them bothered to move. They were just standing there. The room was so quiet it was as if you could hear your own blood flow. You know, if we had enough time, I would have grabbed you right now and kissed you. Ha? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you heard me correctly, Kenma. The pudding head's eyes widened in shock. Of course, unlike Kuru, he wasn't oblivious. He knew that Kuru had feelings for him. It just caught him by surprise that Kuru said he'd kiss him. Kenma gulps apprehensively. Ahaha. What? Are you nervous? Not really, just shocked. I just didn't expect you to say that. Kuru quietly chuckles. He bends down to the younger level, slowly pecking his cheek without warning. I mean, I was pretty obvious. It's not a secret anymore. The younger one touched his cheek. His facial expression can only be explained as a surprised Pikachu face. His face slowly began to heat up. Don't tell me you want more. What? Absolutely not. I mean, I don't know. A yes would have been fine, kitten. The captain leaned in once again, softly cupping the younger's cheek with both of his hands before planting a long, sweet kiss. At first Kenma stood there in daze. Not long after, he returned the kiss. The door suddenly burst open, however that didn't stop the two boys from breaking apart from their kiss. A vibe that says, you can't interrupt us. They could care less about the others. It was just Kuro and Kenma at that moment. Oh shit. Get a room. You must be blind then, they're already in a room. You go Kuro bro. Eat him alive bro. Oh. TSK, you don't just comment something like that Bumblebee. Okay sure. How about, eat me out alive Omi Omi. Sure. Atsumu has stopped working. Well will you look at that, you broke him. Shut your mouth Toru before I do the same. Another setter has stopped working. Both of them stood there stupidly with their faces covered in what seemed to be the color of a cherry. Iwaizumi and Sakusa fist bumped each other and Osamu scowled at the sight of his unmoving brother beside him. The fuck? That's so gross. Don't act like you wouldn't do it to your man over there.